Hi all, welcome to Math Practice. In this video, we will see the National Education Policy 2020 and some of the key features in the policy. This policy was approved by Union Cabinet chaired by Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi on 29 July 2020. This is the first policy, education policy of the 21st century, and it replaces the 34-year-old National Policy on Education in 1986. It is based on the principle that education must not develop only the cognitive skills but also the social and emotional skills, which is now referred to as the soft skills and which includes cultural awareness and empathy, teamwork, leadership, communication, etc. Now, let's see some of the principles on which this policy is based. This policy is based on flexibility, which means that the learners can choose their learning programs and choose their paths in the life according to their own talents or interest. Next is the no hard separations. It means that there is no separations between arts and science or between curricular and extracurricular activities or between vocational and academic, etc. And to ensure high integrity and unity of knowledge and eliminate harmful hierarchical among, between or different areas of learning, multidisciplinary and a holistic education has been considered in these principles. That is, there is no hierarchy among science, social or art subjects or humanities or sports. Next, it is based on conceptual understanding. That is, it discourages rote learning, rote memorization, and it completely discourages that rote learning or rote memorization idea, and it is based on the conceptual understanding. Next is the creativity and critical thinking, which encourages the logical decision making and innovation power of the students. Next, it is based on the ethics and human and constitutional values like empathy, respect for others, cleanliness, democratic spirit, etc. Next, it is based on the life skills such as cooperation, teamwork, communication, etc. And the other principle on which the educational policy is based on is the regular formative assessment for learning. That is, it is gives importance to the formative assessment rather than the summative assessment that encourages the coaching culture, etc. So it is based on the regular formative assessment for learning and the principle on which the policy is made. Next is the respect to diversity and respect for the local context in all the curriculum, pedagogy and policy, always keeping in mind that education should be a concurrent subject. Next, it is based on the principle that full equity and inclusion as the cornerstone of all educational decision is to ensure that all the students will be able to thrive in education system irrespective of the resources available in the school. Now, teachers and faculty form the heart of the learning process. Light but tight oversight and regulatory system. Light and but tight oversight and regulatory systems. It means that to ensure integrity and transparency of the educational system through audit and public disclosure, but it should be encouraging innovation and out of the box ideas. It should be promoted. Next is good governance and empowerment, outstanding research. Next, you have continuous policy making based on regular assessment of from the educational experts and the pride in India and its research, diverse and ancient modern cultural and knowledge systems. So it is based on continuous policy making, and next is we should consider education as a public service. It should not be like a commercial activity for a source of profit. Next is the substantial investment in a strong, vibrant educational system, as well as the encouragement and facilitation of true private participation. These are the principles on which the National Education Policy 2020 is based. Now let us see some of the highlights. In this video, the major reforms in the school education will be discussed. Major reforms in the higher education system will be discussed or will be posted in the next video. Let us see the major reforms. First one is early childhood care and education, the foundation of learning. Now onwards, ECCE. ECCE means that early childhood care and education. Now universalization of Early childhood care education. It means that for universal access to early childhood care and education, the Anganwadi centers will be strengthened and high quality infrastructure, including play area, play equipment, and well trained Anganwadi workers or teachers will be. Next, National Mission on Foundation Literacy and Numeracy. So, on completion, after age 5, on completion of education up to age of 5 in Anganwadi, every child shall move to a preparatory class, that is before class 1 in the primary school, which has a qualified teacher who will be specially appointed for the preparatory class. Now, after the learning in the preparatory class will be based on play-based method or play-based learning with a focus on the three domains, that is the cognitive, affective and psychomotor domain, and the early literacy and numeracy. After the preparatory class, next we come to the most important part of this educational policy. Now it is the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 curricular and pedagogical structure. The curricular and the pedagogical structure and of school education will be by the 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 design rather than the existing 10 plus 2 structure. Now let us see in detail what is this structure actually means. There are 4 stages in that. First stage is the foundational stage, which includes the grades, or it includes from 3 years of preschool as well as grade 1 and 2. And this stage, the child will be in the age of 3 to 8 years. In the foundational stage, the child will be between the age 3 to 8. After the foundational stage, we have the preparatory stage. It includes the grades 3 to 5 and the child will be in the age between the age 8 and 11. After the preparatory stage, we have the middle school, which includes the grades from 6 to 8, and it is in the age of the child will be between 11 to 14. Next we have the high school stage, and high school we have two phases, that is phase 1 is between 9 and phase 1 includes the grades 9 and 10, and phase 2 includes the grades 11 and 12, and the age range of the student will be 14 to 18. It is much little bit similar to the Cambridge curriculum, Cambridge stages. There we have the primary stage, lower secondary, upper secondary, then we have the ASA level, little bit similar to the Cambridge curriculum. And we have an option of exiting at class 10 and re-entering in the next phase. That is what we have now. We can exit from the 10th and later we can join the 11th, 12th, or we can continue the same phase in the same school. Next, let us consider the all the stages individually. First, we have the foundational stage. Now, the foundational stage will consist of play activity based learning. Remember, the child is between the age 3 to 8. That is, they are from 3 years up to grade 2. So, that will be based on the play or activity based learning. It will also include a focus on good behavior, courtesy, ethics, personal and public hygiene, cleanliness, teamwork and cooperation, etc. So, this is the foundational stage. After the foundational stage, we have the preparatory stage. Now in preparatory stage, the children will be from grade 3 to grade 5. Their age will be from 8 to 11. The preparatory stage will transition gradually from the play-based learning to more formal but interactive classroom learning with the introduction of some light textbooks in order to lay solid groundwork across all the subjects, including reading, writing, speaking, physical education, art, maths, languages, science, and all the subjects. Soon after the preparatory stage, we have the middle stage where the children will be from grade 6 to 8. The middle stage will be the introduction of the subject teachers for learning or discussion of the more abstract concept in each subject that student will be ready for at this stage across science, maths, arts, social science and humanities. After the middle stage, then comes the high school stage where the children will be of grade 9 to 12. Again in high school stage we have two phases, 9 and 10 forms the first phase and 11 and 12 forms the second phase. Now, the high school or the secondary stage will comprise of 4 years of multidisciplinary study, building on subject-oriented pedagogical and curricular style of middle age, but with greater depth, greater critical thinking, greater attention to life aspiration, and greater flexibility and student choice. This is the flexibility that we have dealt in the beginning, the principle on which the education policy is made. Now, the high school subject stage may also allow exposure to more subjects and enable greater flexibility and more frequent assessment of. Now, so the stages are foundational stage, preparatory stage, middle stage and high school stage. Now, the above described stages are purely curricular and pedagogical, designed to optimize learning for students based on cognitive development of children. They will form the development of national and state curricula and teaching learning strategies at each stage, but it will not be necessary to make parallel changes to physical infrastructure. Next, coming to the assessment. Now, we have discussed all the how the child will be learned, how what all things will be taught, or how they will come to each stage. Now, what about the assessment? Now, to track students' progress throughout their school experience, all the students will take state school examination, okay, in grades 3, 5 and 8, in addition to the board examination in grade 10 and 12. Now, we have the board examination only in 10 and 12. But now they will take the examination in grade 3, 5 and also in 8. But remember that these examination would test achievement of learning outcomes. Okay, it is not based on the learning objective, it is based on the learning outcomes through assessment of core concept and knowledge, real life or application. It all comes under the Bloom taxonomy application. It will be based on the application level, or the questions will be based on the application level, where it assesses the child on his understanding or the learning outcomes, what all outcomes he has learned on learning a concept. Next, coming to the progress card, it will be a 360-degree holistic progress card. Now, let us understand what is meant by 360-degree holistic progress card. The progress card will be a holistic 360-degree multi-dimensional report that reflects in great deal the progress and the uniqueness of each learner in the cognitive, affective and the psychomotor domain. It will include self-assessment that will be done by the child himself, peer assessment. Assessment will be done by the his friends, his or her friends or the classmates, and teacher assessment. So it will include 3 assessments: own assessment, peer assessment as well as the teacher assessment. Now, tracking student reports for achieving learning outcomes. Why are we tracking the student reports? It's just to know how much he has achieved his learning outcomes. Now, new body will be set up. It is called the National Assessment Center and it is known as PARAK. What is PARAK means? Performance, Assessment, Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. It will be a standard setting body for conducting this examination. All the examination will be conducted or monitored by the standard setting body that is known as PARAK. Other key features of National Education Policy 2020 is board examination will be low stakes. It will be based on knowledge and application. That is, it will not be based on that rote memorization and learning based on just by hearting. It will be based on knowledge application. Now, medium of instruction till at least grade 5 and preferably till grade 8 and beyond in home language or mother tongue or regional language. Up to grade 5 it can be it will be in mother tongue or regional language, but it's up to the state or preference that up to grade 8 also it can be, the medium of instruction can be based on mother tongue or regional language. The curriculum is to integrate 21st century skills, mathematical thinking and scientific temper. Now, there is no rigid separation between arts and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams. Now, another point, key feature of this is vocational education will start from class 6 and that also some internships will be given to the students. They can do the vocational education from class 6. Now, education of the gifted children, gender inclusion fund, KGBVs up to grade 12, and reduction in curriculum to core concept. These are some of the other key features of national education policies. Now, what are the expected outcomes of this policy is universalization from ECCE, that is early childcare education, to secondary education by 2030, aligning with SDG 4. Next outcome is attaining foundational learning and numerical skills through national mission by 2025. 100% GER in preschool to secondary level by 2030. Now bringing back 2 crore out of school children. This is the most important thing. 2 crore, the main outcome, expected outcome is to bring back the 2 crore out of school children back to the education, school education. Now teachers to be prepared for assessment reforms by 20. The next set of outcomes expected from NEP 2020 are inclusive and equitable education system by 2030, board exams to test core concepts and application of knowledge. Every child will come out of the school adept in at least one skill, and common standards of learning in public and private schools. So these are the some key features or major reforms in school education in NEP 2020. Now the major reforms in higher education system, video related to that will soon follow. If you are new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification so that you don't miss the future concept posted in the channel. Thanks for watching. Happy learning.